The universe is shifting. The conversations are so fascinating right now. So fascinating. The intrigue of the Pope's selection in the conspiracy verse, which I've been paying attention to conspiracies long enough to understand the significance of the institution of the Vatican in context to the Holy Roman Empire. Then you realize the importance, the significance of these things, especially with the Jesuit order, who is an interesting, contentious organization within the church, and the fact that this Pope was the first one, and the Jesuits were effectively the intelligence agency of the Holy Roman Empire. You would ultimately think of it like, imagine if, I think Wild Bill Donovan was like the first guy of the CIA. Like, imagine Wild Bill Donovan, who was part of the Nazi problem in America. Part of it. At least a blind agent of it. So you got Wild Bill Donovan or something like that, and he becomes president. You know, it's that kind of equivalency. All right? And this is happening while we're in the midst of all these tariffs. So a new pope is being selected while American imperialism has re-risen after, 120 years. Because America seemed to have gotten over imperialism before World War I, right? We consistently had to be lured into global affairs. Because it's almost like it was the wrong move, perhaps, to not have our own imperialist tendencies, as far as just what the product of the world was at that time, context of America within it. America, was not the so powerful nation yet. Nobody looked at America like it was more than any other country. They hardly saw it as equal to most other countries until a certain point. This is despite the fact that we really aren't different. We're not really you watch enough of what life just looks like for people living it on the internet. If this is freedom, then effectively every other country is also free. It's just a matter of cultural values at that point. Because you can look at what's theoretically the law, you can look at who the ideologues that say what their nation is at the top, and then see how little of that is true on the surface level, right? Like, you know, here in America, even if perhaps you say like Trump, it's like you're completely different than the other guy who likes him, right? And you may not even be what the other guy thinks you want to be, right? And you know, it's the idea of just like imagine like people are silly. Okay, so you cannot avoid Daredevil Born Again's Kingpin being a Trump stand-in. He was always a Trump stand-in. I could see it in season 2 when he's breaking out of fucking prison and he gets his boss credentials as he's going along. He gets to wear his suit of choice again. He gets to live in a high-class apartment. It's all high security, and like somehow he flipped it. Excuse me. Somehow they flipped it, right? And he turned his prison sentence into like his throne, right? And that's also something to say about what happens to you, right? When you want to be a politician like that in the public eye, you are surrendering to the masses, right? You are putting yourself in the prison. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? You put yourself in the prison of the public trust, right? And you know, which is why you're going to have to be a person capable of a duplicitous life. I'm a person capable of having some level of private life, even when I'm running my mouth freely. It's just like I just kind of know deep down inside what I am not going to say, you know? But maybe that's just a guy thing in general. I think it is. Because we all know about women. Women have this problem of posting their losses, right? Women posting their L's, which is like, I think, an account that's been on Twitter forever, meaning that it was here before Elon Musk. Excuse me. So the ability to have that duplicitous life that's your level of freedom, your ability to go into privacy, right? So if I keep doing what I am doing, the question is what kind of will I feel like I have a free life, right? Not for, a lot of people would forego that, right? Who can afford to be PewDiePie? Granted, if you're PewDiePie, right, that might be freedom for him, because overall he's not going to change, and he's an approvable guy, right? Or he's going to change, but he's going to change like naturally, because he's growing up and he's getting older in the context, because he's got family and children now, yada yada yada, and he's got new ideas for what he wants to do when he broadcasts, right? Because everybody has that small chance of YouTube being favorable to them for a time. everybody's got a small chance of that, where narratives flip and different guys become stars, so on and so forth. So, you know, so I think we can look at moments like this and we can perhaps get some ideas in the manner in which things in the system of the controllers work, like the Catholic Church. Who is wagging the dog, right? So, is the, do the nations influence the church, or does the church influence the nations? Naturally, as a yin-yang scenario, it's always going to be an answer of both because of all of the different facades, some of which are natural as per, you know, your persona, your presentation. Everybody's got to, like, you know, just like me, you know? You only know so much about me because I only care to let you know so much about me. And believe me, it's a fucking lot. But until you really get to know me, you know, because you may have all sorts of assumptions. One of the biggest problems that pops up with me is somebody will have the assumption that I'm completely down with something that they're down with, or would be really down for it once I've been told the good news about it, and then I hear it and I already kind of know where it's coming from, and I'm actually in a different place about it, right? That can throw people off. This is, you know, this happens, and I also have been in that spot too, right? You know, you will end up making assumptions because they're largely hopes, right? It's just like when you see someone you like and you start imagining them as your friend, or if it's someone that you're attracted to, you're imagining them as your date, as your relationship, right? Hey, what's going on? I think I see Violence in the chat. How you doing, Violence? I can't read your shit right now. But good to see you. Right, because when Benedict came in, the neocons were in control. And then Benedict didn't last very long, based on a resignation. He's still alive, by the way. The Pope Benedict is going to live to see the second pope after him. He's going to live to see 2 successors to the throne. So he's in there, and the world was being led by America in a neocon-esque fashion at the tolerance of the neolibs. And then they flipped it to the radical socialist for the neolibs when Benedict was forced to step down by whatever circumstances of either health, divine providence, or conspiracy. All right, I have little time, and I have to step into the office now, so I'm practically at work because this is my pit stop that I must make. So anyway, that's kind of like a central point that I got across is let's pay attention and see if things are in step or out of step. Is Rome going to be in rebellion of the direction the world wants to take? Is it going to be in a false agreement, or will it have shifted into agreement? Those are the three possibilities. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you later.